Hello and welcome back to the lesson. Today we continue with the analysis of short-term sources of financing, our attention being drawn to the overdraft finance. In this lesson, we will study the characteristics, the benefits, and the disadvantages of overdraft finance, which is a short-term source of financing commonly used by businesses to manage their working capital needs. An overdraft is an arrangement between the bank and the account holder where the bank allows the account holder to withdraw money in excess of what the account holder may have or may hold in the bank. So it is a short-term source of finance that is commonly used by businesses to do what? To manage capital needs. It's a short-term source of finance, and we will first of all highlight the. We are going to highlight the characteristics of overdraft finance. The first one is in relation to credit line. Overdraft finance provides businesses with a revolving credit line. Revolving credit line, which means that the facility can be used repetitively. You understand? Revolving. All right? The revolving line allows businesses to withdraw funds up to an approved limit. It acts as a flexible borrowing arrangement. Number two, short-term nature. Short-term nature. Overdrafts are typically short-term borrowing solutions that are designed to cover for temporary cash shortages, temporary cash flow shortages, or they are used to bridge the gap between inflows and outflows. A business may have fluctuating cash inflows and outflows. So the overdraft serves as a bridge between the two. It's a short-term financing solution. 3, renewable. Now, overdraft facilities are often renewable, meaning businesses can use them repeatedly as long as they remain within the approved limit, as the businesses meet the terms and conditions of the overdraft that is set by the banks. Variable interest rates. Variable interest rates. Overdrafts have interest rates that are generally variable and may be tied to a benchmark rate such as the prime rate, and therefore the interest rate is usually charged only the outstanding balance. It is charged only the outstanding balance, which makes it variable. 5, collateral required. There are some overdrafts that may require collateral, others may not require collateral. Overdrafts may or may not require specific collateral. For example, you may have secured overdrafts. You may have unsecured overdrafts. Secured overdrafts have a lower interest rate, while unsecured overdrafts have a higher interest rate. The 6th characteristic is in relation to assessment, credit assessment. credit assessment. Before approving an overdraft, banks assess the creditworthiness of a business, considering factors such as the ability to pay, the financial stability, the credit history of the account holder, and so on. There is also flexibility in usage. Flexibility in usage. Now, businesses have the flexibility to use the overdraft funds in various short-term needs, such as covering operating expenses, paying suppliers, such as managing seasonal fluctuations, and so on. There is flexibility in how the overdraft can be used by the business. 8. Quick access to funds. Overdraft facilities can enable organizations or companies to have quick access to funds, thereby allowing or enabling businesses to meet their immediate short-term needs. Number 9 is that this type of finance is not suitable for long-term financing. Not suitable for long-term financing. Overdraft facilities are not suitable for long-term financing. Why? Because they are not intended for long-term financing needs. They are best suited for short-term and temporary short flow requirements. Do you understand? And therefore, businesses need to be careful when managing overdraft facilities to avoid exceeding the approved limit and to avoid incurring unnecessary fees. So these are 9 characteristics of overdraft finance. Let us outline the advantages. What are the advantages of overdraft finance? The first one is flexibility. Flexibility. Overdrafts provide businesses with flexibility in managing their working capital. They can draw funds needed up to the approved limit to address short-term cash flow gaps. 2, quick access to funds. Quick access to funds is an advantage. Overdrafts offer quick and easy access to funds, providing a rapid solution to unexpected expenses or fluctuations in cash flows. And this is particularly beneficial in emergency situations, because a company may be allowed to withdraw anytime in excess of certain limit that has been agreed upon. 2, 3, interest on utilized funds. This is yet another advantage. Here, businesses only pay interest on the portion of the overdraft that has actually been utilized, and that makes it a cost-effective solution for short-term financing. 4, versatility in usage. Versatility in usage. Versatility in usage. Now, overdrafts can be used for various short-term purposes, such as paying suppliers, covering operating expenses, or managing seasonal fluctuations in cash flows. There is no it's not a must that the overdraft be used to to finance a certain project or to be used in such a way. No, there is that flexibility and versatility in the way in which the overdraft may be used. The bank does not insist on the funds being used in a certain way. The business can use the overdraft to meet any short-term requirements. Versatility in usage. 5, revolving credit line. Now, overdraft facilities are often revolving, meaning businesses can use them repeatedly as long as they stay within the approved limit and adhere to the terms and conditions of the overdraft. Revolving credit line can be used repeatedly. Fixed repayment schedule. Fixed repayment schedule. Now, unlike term loans, overdrafts typically do not have a fixed repayment schedule. Repayments are made and when funds are deposited into the business account. That is number 6. Number 7, seasonal support. Seasonal support. Seasonal support. Now, candidates, overdrafts are often used to manage seasonal variations in cash flows. And by so doing, the overdrafts help businesses navigate periods of increased expenses or periods of reduced revenues. So these are 7 advantages. We will highlight the disadvantages here. What are the disadvantages of overdraft finance? Number 1 is the interest costs. The first disadvantage is on interest cost. The interest costs. Overdrafts can be more expensive in terms of interest costs compared to other forms of short-term financing, and the interest may be higher, especially for unsecured overdrafts. 2, risk of overutilization. There's also the risk of overutilization of the overdrafts, where businesses may exceed the approved limit, leading to higher fees and potential financial strain. 3, fees and charges. Overdraft facilities often come with fees and charges, including usage fees, service fees, and potentially penalty fees for exceeding the approved limit. And these costs can add up over time. They can add up over time. 4, continuous monitoring. Continuous monitoring is also a disadvantage. Banks may continuously monitor businesses with overdraft facilities. If there are significant changes in the business financial condition, then the bank may adjust the terms of or the limit of the overdraft. So businesses that use this source are subject to continuous monitoring by the banks. 5, not suitable for long-term, not suitable for long-term needs. Overdrafts are not intended for long-term financing needs, and businesses with ongoing capital requirements may need to explore alternative financing options. There is also credit worthiness requirement. Credit worthiness requirement. Now, businesses need to have a good credit history and financial stability to qualify for overdraft financing. And some businesses may find it challenging to secure overdraft financing if they have weaker credit profiles. 7, repossession risk. There is also repossession risk associated with overdraft financing. Now, while overdrafts are typically unsecured, the bank may have the right to demand repayment or reduce the credit limit if the business financial position deteriorates significantly. Another risk associated with overdraft is dependency. Dependency risk. Dependency what? Risk. Over reliance on overdrafts as a primary source of a working capital can create dependency on the bank, and businesses may face challenging times or challenges if the facility is unexpectedly reduced or withdrawn. So these are disadvantages. We began by looking at the characteristics. The first characteristic is in relation to credit line, short-term nature. Number 2, number 3, renewable. Number 4, variable interest rate. Number 5, collateral requirement. Number 6, credit assessment. Number 7, flexibility in usage. Number 8, quick access to funds. Number 9, not suitable for long-term financing. We've identified 7 advantages of overdraft. Number 1, flexibility. Number 2, quick access to funds. Number 3, interest on utilized funds. Number 5, versatility in usage. Number 5, revolving credit line. Number 6, fixed repayment schedule. Number 7, seasonal support. Here are 8 disadvantages. 1 is related to interest. Number 2, risk of overutilization. Number 3, fees and charges. Number 4, continuous monitoring. 5, not suitable for long-term needs. Next, credit worthiness requirement. Number 7, repossession risk. Number 8, dependency risk. So these are characteristics, advantages, and disadvantages of overdraft finance. And candidates, businesses that are considering overdraft finance should carefully weigh the advantages against the disadvantages based on their specific needs, based on their financial condition, and also the cost of borrowing. And it's essential to have a clearer understanding of the terms and fees that are associated with the overdraft and to use it judiciously in order to avoid potential financial challenges. That is the end of the lesson. But before we close the lesson, I will give you today's assignment on overdraft finance. Overdraft finance. Question number 1. What is overdraft finance and how does it function as a short-term source of financing for businesses? Number 2, how do businesses utilize overdraft facilities to manage cash flow fluctuations? And what are the key features of overdraft arrangements with financial institutions? Number 3, what are the associated costs and considerations of using overdraft finance? And how can businesses effectively manage and minimize interest expenses? Thank you for attending the lesson. In our next session, we are going to study trade credit as a short-term source of finance. Bye bye.